Hello guys, good afternoon. This is your guy Mr. Cool, and today I'm gonna be talking about two main reasons why your car starts and die. Be it on Mercedes, be it on Hyundai, be it on Toyota, be it on any car, in as much as it's car. I don't fucking care. But these two factors is actually what is responsible based on so many cars I've cross references and worked on. This is the two most serious badass guys that always kills a car when you start the engine. It just killed it right away. Damn, what kind of guy does the things like that? Anyway, as you stay with me today, I'm sure you're not gonna regret it. You're gonna have just two things that you're gonna cycle around and forget it, and it's done. I mean, completely done. Done. When I'm saying it's done, you don't look for it anymore. It's just gone, and your car start working fine. So, for some makes, it's gonna differ, although terms and conditions apply. For some makes, it's gonna differ. Like if it is VW, it's gonna differ. If it is Peugeot, as you can see somewhere down here, is gonna differ. So what I'm trying to say here is, depends on the car make, is gonna tell you exactly what the problem could be, but they all have their own similarities. Some cars, the reason is there are some techs that are highly should I say classified? Is that English too big or something? Okay, that they are highly sophisticated. Damn, I almost bite my tongue there. I almost chew some bubble gums before I could get that throw out of my mouth. So some cars could be more sensitive and sophisticated than others. Sensitivity in a sense that you could just pull the sensor off and the car won't so much feel anything, and some are extremely sensitive and sophisticated that even before your hands goes close to that sensor, bam, wow, it just stopped right there. So those are the kind of cars I'm talking about. So the first thing that makes your car start and die, let's say you just went to a cafe to take a coffee, or you went to take some donuts or some kind of hamburger or sandwiches or witchcraft, any of the things you go to the stores to go and take to buy, to take home, maybe some kind of pie or cookies, any of those things that make you happy that you want to take, that you just stop the car and you just come back to kick the car like this, and lo and behold, damn, it's not starting. Wow. If it's no crank situation, that's a different thing, but let's keep it to the topic which I actually brought before you here today, the reason why car starts and die. The first thing is fuel. So some people could have a force gauge reading, fuel gauge reading, like I mentioned in some other of my videos, crazy fuel gauge reading where you don't know between when you have fuel in your tank and when you don't have fuel in your tank. You just keep running, you just keep driving, you drive until when the car stops. But this time the car didn't stop. And one of the major reasons why you went to that cafe to buy a coffee or to buy a sugar cane or pain or do some kind of window shopping and it was working, is there could be literally just some fuel while you're going, because the car is balanced, it's on equilibrium. It's not like this, it's not bending like this, so the car is balanced. So the fuel pump is just managing to draw out as little as much fuel it can draw. But on the other side, when you're about to park, let's say there is no any level ground there, so the right tire steps on something that is just about 6 inch, 6 or 4 inch above the normal level where the left tires are, and instantly when you come back it refuses to start. Why? Because the fuel has relocated from where the fuel pump can be able to reach it. So the fuel ones, the one that actually started the car before it dies is the one that is still within the circuit, within the fuel line circuit. So that is number one, lack of fuel. And number two, it could vary in some mini cars. If it is in VW, no problem, it's gonna start and die. And if you hit the gas pedal, it's still gonna walk a little bit and still it won't race properly. But if it is Mercedes, BMW, that's a shit show. That's where we're talking about the sensitivity of the sensors and the rest of them. The whole thing built into the circuit that controls the ignition system, supplying of fuel, supplying of air, the geometric ratio component. So at that point, if it is you have a bad mass airflow sensor, yes, MAF, damn, MAF, that's mass airflow sensor. That thing right there, damn, I don't know. I mean, for some other cars, they have their own different program, but this other guy here, even if you step on the gas pedal the way you're gonna step on a VW, and the car starts and work but won't race properly and won't be able to engage into gear. I mean, engage into gear, but it's not going to go anywhere. I still have it. You still have it at the back of your mind that, in as much as it's Mercedes, you are facing a MAF airflow sensor, a bad mass airflow sensor. And one of the best way to actually get to know this is to unplug it. If you unplug it, it's gonna start. If you try to rev it up very well, it's not going to rev fine. So you need that quality information to continue. So guys, now that you know the two factors, the two reasons why your car starts and dies, it's time to work it out. Okay, if this tip helped you in any other way to solve your car problems and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere or quarter mile, just give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now. I got a flight to catch.